Turning grief and tragedy into a purpose and passion for helping families impacted by gun violence. I'm Nicole Griffin tonight with that story coming up.
We're moving around to every park. There is no part of Indianapolis or Marion County that isn't affected by crime.
We'll tell you about a new program designed to help reduce violence and help people connect with resources they may need.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
The men and the women of IMPD, the men and the women of our Office of Public Health and Safety, and thousands of community members remain steadfastly committed to abolishing violence in our city.
Indianapolis Mayor Hogsett and Police Chief Randall Taylor say they've heard your concerns about public safety. Now they are ready to take action. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. With gun violence a lingering problem, the mayor and city leaders say they've been listening, and today they're responding. Today officials gave a snapshot of the state of crime in the Circle City, and it's not pretty. They say murder numbers and non-fatal shootings have increased at a rapid pace. Officials say they're committed to maintaining a focus on so-called crime hotspots around Indianapolis. Officers assigned to those areas will have a bigger presence.
They will mark out in those locations for a period of time to do bike patrol, foot patrols. You may just see a cop sitting somewhere for no apparent reason in your mind, but these are all areas where we've seen an increase or where we've seen a cluster of our non-fatal shootings and homicide incidents. And so we want them to spend more time in those neighborhoods, getting to know the people that we serve, letting them be a visible presence, and build those relationships that we know long-term are going to help us reduce violent crime by building those relationships.
That it takes all of us working together to build this community. That's each and every one of us. You've heard that message a number of times because it is the truth. We can't do it all on our own, nor should we. We are part of the community that we serve as well. So it's got to be this joint effort.
Police say they will also install new cameras along the canal and at various locations around the city.
Everyone plays a role in this because anybody can be shot at any given time. That's what you're seeing across the country.
Tonight, a grieving father whose son was shot and killed at a jazz concert in Indianapolis is turning his pain into a passion to help other families impacted by gun violence. Our Nicole Griffin is finding out that's not his only focus. He is also trying to find solutions to put an end to the pain so many families are feeling.
I was truly devastated. It took me literally 1 year to resolve, pick myself back up. And it was either I was going to sit and continue to lament and be heartbroken, or I was going to do something about it to begin to heal.
Craig Joseph's only son, Christopher C.J. Joseph, was killed while attending a jazz concert in 2016 at Watkins Park on the northwest side. He says there have still been no arrests in his son's case. The pain of losing C.J. encouraged Craig to create the Ho-Hoff Foundation. The organization helps families financially who have been impacted by gun violence in Indiana and New York, where Craig now lives. The work for the Ho-Hoff Foundation does not stop at just helping families impacted by gun violence. They are also working to find solutions to put a stop to the violence. Coming up on July 25th, they are holding a panel discussion that will include 3 different cities: Indianapolis, Chicago, and New York City.
So our purpose is to talk about some of the best practices in each one of those cities. Everyone plays a role in this because anybody can be shot at any given time. That's what you're seeing across the country. You're seeing it across the world. So we really have to be advocates for ourselves and our families first, and then protect one another when we see such violent acts happening.
In memory of CJ, who loved playing soccer, the weekend following the gun violence panel on August 1st, the Ho-Hoff Foundation will host CJ's Love Soccer Tournament at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church. Money raised will go directly to the foundation to help other families. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
The panel discussion on gun violence is called This is America, a look at violence and racism. It will air at 3 p.m. and on July 25th on the Soul Cinema Cafe Facebook page. Many of the speakers have donated money to the Ho-Hoff Foundation to be used to help families impacted by violence.
Another effort to reduce crime is underway in Indianapolis. It's a new program called Resources in the Park. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum found out how it works and how the impact leaders hope it will have on young people in Indianapolis.
These are some of the people fighting for change in Indianapolis. All of them a part of different organizations or groups that help provide for those in need, specifically at-risk youth. Some are social, some are related to business, but all have been hitting similar roadblocks.
That resources have not been getting to the people who need the most. And so with COVID now, that's amped up that need.
So they're coming together, holding meetings in various parks around town. First, connecting with each other, and then actually walking through the park, finding people who live in the neighborhood and telling them about these programs they may need. Some say it's already working. Sade Hoskins is on the city's violence reduction team. She says through this, she's already recruited new young people for the city's Safe Summer program.
We'll go over here and talk to the people playing basketball, and a lot of them will come over and play basketball with us. So we're like, oh, that's fun, you know, prizes, food, or whatever.
So whether it's that program or one of many others, leaders with resources in the park say these connections could change lives.
We have got to look at what these young men and women walk through every day. And so, yes, we've got to find avenues to get them involved in more positive things and show them that there are other opportunities.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
As you know, this has been an unusual July day. We've stayed in the 70s in Indianapolis. We're still at 78. We've got the cloud cover in place. So it's not been hot, but it is humid. Humidity will continue to stay with us the next several days, and the heat will come back. It won't take long. West wind right now around 10 miles per hour. The clouds are gradually breaking up. Look at western Indiana. You can see some sunshine there in the western third of the state, while eastern Indiana socked in with the cloud cover for now. Skies gradually cleared this evening. Where you've had some sunshine, it's warmer. Lafayette to Terre Haute in the 80s, but 78 in Indy. Muncie, 75 in Columbus. Temperatures tonight will drop into the 60s, the only night in my 7-day planner where temperatures do fall into the 60s. We're uniformly in the metro area, middle to upper 70s right now. I wouldn't be surprised. We still could hit 80 if the sunshine comes out in the next hour or so. Friday planner tomorrow, plan on a warm-up with lots of sunshine. Temperature will push 90 degrees for the afternoon high. If you're wondering about rainfall, the rain chances slowly increase, but I wouldn't change your weekend plans because of rain. More on that and your 7-day forecast coming up.
Now, this just in, an update on a break-in last month at the Franklin Township Little League garage. Metro Police say they've located one of the suspect vehicles in this case, a Ford pickup truck and trailer. Investigators say the owner cooperated with detectives and has been eliminated as a suspect. Meanwhile, they're still looking for one other vehicle, a silver Chrysler or Dodge minivan. That break-in happened between June 26th and June 28th. Thieves stole a 60-inch zero-turn mower, an air compressor, a generator, and a 2017 black carry-on utility trailer. If you have any information that can help police, call Crime Stoppers. The number is 317-262-TIPS.
And now to our continuing coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on Indiana. The State Health Department reports 10 more deaths. 2,602 Hoosiers have now died from the coronavirus. More than 54,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus, and more than 595,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 9.1% testing positive. And Mayor Hogsett says the city's rental assistance program has gone off to a very brisk start. The program helps people pay their rent if their jobs were impacted by the pandemic. It just launched on Monday, and already more than 10,000 applications have been submitted. Because of the high volume within a short time period, the website has switched to a waiting list while existing applications are processed. Processing is anticipated to last through next week. You can still submit your contact info to be notified when the site resumes taking applications.
There's an important deadline tomorrow for IPS parents who feel uncomfortable sending their kids back to the classroom. As we first reported last week, IPS will resume in-person classes and online classes as well on August 3rd. Families wanting to use remote learning options need to fill out an application by this Friday, July 17th. Go to the IPS website for more information on that. At schools, students and teachers will have to wear masks. Students will get one free mask from their school and get mask breaks during the day.
More to come this hour on RTV6 News. Add a pharmacy and a big box store to the growing list of places requiring masks for shoppers. The measures each place will take if you don't have a mask as you enter.
Also ahead, a warning tonight for those of you still looking to get a COVID-19 test. Scammers have managed to prey on the fears and the unknown surrounding this virus.
And humidity, the big story over the next several days. You combine that with temperatures in the 90s, and we'll talk about our heat index coming up.
Oh, it's what?
Potato chips and pasta salad and a sandwich, like it's all of this is good.
The Vatican has just published a new manual on how to document and process accusations of sex abuses. Catholic bishops around the world are urged to report cases to authorities even when they are not legally bound to do so. It is the latest effort to deal with sexual abuse accusations involving priests. The United States has carried out its second federal execution this week in Terre Haute. 68-year-old Wesley Persky died this morning by lethal injection. He was sentenced to death in 2004 for kidnapping and killing a teenager in 1998. Persky was originally scheduled to be executed last night, but a flurry of last-minute legal filings led to delays. His lawyers had argued Persky had dementia and was unfit to be executed.
The White House is looking to smooth over its relationship with Dr. Anthony Fauci after days of attacks on the nation's top infectious disease expert. The White House says the president has spoken with Fauci. ABC's Alex Perchet has more from Washington.
President Trump and Dr. Anthony Fauci speaking yesterday for the first time since June. Fauci recently said he hadn't briefed the president on the coronavirus in 2 months. This appears to be an effort to get away from the headlines that the administration was undermining Fauci. The nation's top infectious disease expert alluding to that tension in an InStyle magazine article saying, "I don't like conflict. I'm an apolitical person. I don't like being pitted against the president." Yesterday, the president and his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, tried to distance themselves from an op-ed aimed at discrediting Fauci. White House trade advisor Peter Navarro, who has no medical experience, writing in USA Today, "Anthony Fauci has been wrong on everything I have interacted with him on." Meadows says the article was not authorized by the White House, a sentiment echoed by the president.
Well, he made a statement representing himself. He shouldn't be doing that.
But notably not disputing what Navarro said or condemning the Facebook post put out by his social media director mocking Fauci. A battle between science and politics has been brewing for a while, but has intensified over the president's demand to reopen schools this fall. COVID hospitalizations are nearing an all-time high, with more than 56,000 patients receiving care. Medical professionals across the country yet again struggling to find PPE. Several states looking to the White House for guidance and financial support. Maryland's Republican Governor Larry Hogan taking aim at the administration, writing, "It was hopeless waiting around for him. Governors were being told that we were on our own. It was sink or swim."
This is revisionist history by Governor Hogan.
2020 challenger Joe Biden's campaign saying, quote, "Almost 140,000 Americans have lost their lives and millions more have lost their jobs because of Donald Trump's failed leadership." And the Republican National Convention now announcing it's scaling back next month's convention in Florida, where COVID-19 cases are exploding. The RNC limiting the first 3 days to about 2,500 people. The final day, when the president attends, will have between 6,000 and 7,000 attendees. The president's response to COVID-19 is contributing to his steep decline in the polls. The latest national survey from Quinnipiac has him down 15 points to Joe Biden. It's part of the reason the president demoted and replaced his longtime campaign manager, Brad Parscale. Alex Perchet, ABC News, Washington.
CVS and Target announced they will require all customers to wear masks. It comes as the retail industry moves to enact mask mandates to slow the spread of coronavirus. The CVS policy goes into effect Monday, Target on August 1st. Target says it will provide disposable masks at entrances to customers who don't have one. Target noted 80% of its stores already require mask or facial coverings because of local and state regulations. The CVS and Target news comes a day after Walmart, Kroger, and Kohl's all said masks would be mandatory in all of their stores. Best Buy announced Tuesday it will require customers to wear masks too.
A warning if you're looking into getting a COVID-19 test. Scammers are using false ads to get your personal info. Consumer reporter John Matarese has the warning signs you need to look out for so you don't waste your money.
With COVID tests, antibody tests, and contact tracing in the news every day, it was inevitable. Scammers are now targeting us with ads for testing that's not real. Looking for a nearby COVID test, but you don't know where to go? Or perhaps you want to know if you have the antibodies to protect from COVID. The FTC has just issued a warning that fraudsters are using telemarketing calls, emails, and Facebook posts to advertise fake tests that are really phishing for your personal information.
I'm calling from the County of San Diego's Public Health Department. How are you?
It says if you want a test, check with your doctor's office. The government will not contact you first. And from the Doesn't That Stink file, the tougher one to figure out, contact tracing scams. The FTC says scammers are sending text messages or are calling, claiming that someone near you has COVID and that you're being alerted. They may give you a link to a website that requests personal info and may contain malware. Real tracers will ask for your name and recent locations, but they will never ask for your Medicare, bank account, or Social Security number. When it comes to testing, if they ask for a Social Security or a credit card number, there's a chance you're being scammed, so be careful so you don't waste your money. I'm John Batteries for RTV6.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama is launching a podcast on Spotify. It's aptly titled The Michelle Obama Podcast, and it's scheduled to debut on July 29th. Spotify and Higher Ground, Obama and her husband's production company, gave details in a press release. The series will focus on relationships and share the former First Lady's most candid and personal conversations with listeners. NASA and the European Space Agency have released the closest images ever taken of the sun. The new solar orbiter mission, which launched in February, captured the images last month. Among other things, they show small solar flares, which are actually called campfires near the sun's surface. This was solar orbiter's first close pass of the sun. The word close is relative here. The images were taken at a distance of more than 47 million miles from the sun.
Let me share a date I have circled on my calendar, my 2024 calendar, April 8th. That's a Monday. 2024 is the total solar eclipse, and Indianapolis, portions of central Indiana, will be right in the path of totality, which means we will be a destination if skies are clear. People will flock to central Indiana to get a view of the total solar eclipse. We've got some time. We'll talk about it at another point, obviously. 2024 is a little ways away. Tomorrow, not long from now, dry. We're dry. Probably through the weekend in many spots. The chance for thunderstorms will be there Saturday, Sunday, but the real chance, the increasing chance with more coverage of any thunderstorms will come as we get to Monday and a Tuesday. Here's the big picture, just kind of broad brushing temperatures, the heat index value, low temperatures. I can only imagine, and this is probably a good deal for mom and dad especially, water temperatures at public pools will be going way up because these overnight lows will not cool much. They'll stay in the 70s. We've stayed in the 70s for highs today, from Bloomington to Indy to Muncie, anywhere to the east where the cloud cover's been thicker. That's challenged the temperatures. Western Indiana temperatures are in the low 80s. A nice break really for much of the east and northeast, as well as the Great Lakes. From the heat back out to the west, you begin to see the warmer temperatures starting to return. It won't take much, just a change in wind direction and more sunshine, and look where we end up. 90, your high tomorrow. Will end the work week with a 90-degree high with lots of sunshine. Humidity a little higher than today, but it will peak over the weekend. During the day tomorrow, we'll call it not too humid. The real humidity, when you get those dew points to 70 or lower 70s, comes over the weekend. 89 tomorrow, Lafayette, upper 80s in Peru and Muncie. Otherwise, temperatures in the low 90s down to Bloomington and Columbus. Here's your weekend. Don't change your plans. If you have outdoor plans, you'll need to take a break because you'll get hot. And that sun will be around. The chance for thunderstorms to cool you off is not high, 104 or so. The heat index, that's on the Sunday. As I mentioned, our better chance for rain will arrive early next week. Monday, 40% chance of thunderstorms, and then with the rain chances increasing, becoming likely, we say likely when we get to a 60% chance or greater. That would be Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chance up, temperature comes back down a bit into the upper 80s. Mark?
Thank you, Kevin. A going out of business jewelry store isn't going quietly. They're making headlines by holding a statewide treasure hunt for $1 million in buried valuables. We've got that story coming up next.
Friday Night Lights will shine brightly this week on the RTV6 Facebook page. Graduating seniors will be honored at the National Football Foundation Central Indiana Chapter Annual Scholastic Awards. Sports Director Dave Furst hosts as 15 student athletes from 14 area schools are selected. And included are special honors for Collegiate and Courage Awards. Watch Friday night at 7:30 only on the RTV6 Facebook page. A Michigan jewelry store forced to close by the pandemic is going out in a big way. Owners say they've buried roughly $1 million in jewelry in a statewide treasure hunt. Real engagement rings, precious coins, gold and silver are up for grabs. The owners say it's buried everywhere from Detroit to the Upper Peninsula. They say each treasure is valued at around $4,000 and is fitted with a GPS tracker. $49 will buy you a shot at the buried treasure, and the hunt starts August 1st. A mother bringing a problem to our attention that could mean life or death for her son. All new at 6 p.m. why she is calling on the African-American community to become stem cell donors. And still to come at 5:30, because of the pandemic, doctors' offices and hospitals have implemented various restrictions. Now a mother is voicing her frustrations after her husband was not allowed at appointments for their newborn.